Hello, welcome to a new video. Today is kind of like a follow-up to 7x7s I showed last video. I've been on a roll making tons of 7x7s. I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these are backups. So this is kind of like showcasing my two smaller ones than that. They're way smaller. My smallest and my second smallest, and then a quick explanation to how some of it works. So this is the first door. Basically the change from here is I shaved off a layer to the side using a slider instead of dust. So it is 1386 blocks. I think it's kind of fast and it's compact. Made by me, obviously. So this is the door. Then there is a cooldown, but it's really not that long. I think it's like half a second longer than the time the door takes to close. Oh yeah, I completely forgot. I also made it sync, which is quite nice. That door over there isn't sync. That one shaves a layer off the bottom and was too hard. I didn't realise I did that. Anyway, so this is kind of like a bottom. 3 blocks of storage. Tape goes. It's not a super fast tape or anything, but it works. Makes the quad really annoying to wire though. The bottom is also quite fast. And then this is the top. 2 blocks of storage only this time. And the bin is extremely fast, I think. But the root fire isn't, but that's because the bottom is super fast. I don't know if you can hear that, a train just went past. Anyway, so that's that door. And then this, I think, is the smaller one. And then that door over there and that one there, just backups, so if anyone destroys them, I won't be too mad. So this one is 1320 blocks. I shaved a layer off the bottom, so now it's layout sized on the bottom, the top, the sides, and it's layout sized in terms of how wide it is. I don't know how to make a less wide one, so yeah. So the top is just a copy because I only made the bottom smaller, so it's the exact same top. The bottom sequence, it kind of looks the same, but the quad is slow. It uses a bunch of delay there, which is annoying, but the only way I could figure out how to do it. So this is the door. It's also not sync because the bottom's slow. So for once the top is faster than the bottom. Which is a shame, so there you go. The bottom closing is basically the same, it's just the quad. That was a bit hard. Because some of the inputs to the storage is different, which actually helps, to be honest. It's a bit easier storage. Over here uses this rail line to power these storage because we can use that to power the bottom of the quad. But over here there isn't any space, so we need to use this dust line to power the bottom of the quad. Then we do this with the storage, which is easier, but yeah. So that's the door. I will now do a quick explanation. So sides are sides, normal, and they get powered by the top storage, because on the opening and closing this line gets powered twice. So I just take like, what's it called, a toggle which goes into the storage, I mean the sides. The refi is also quite cool, I'll come back later though. So this is a very useful circuit for the Quint. And then another useful circuit which I used for the storage was this, I think. Basically, oh, and then this is the input line for the storage. So basically it means you can power this, then power that for the storage on the closing, instead of powering this, and this, and this. Because this does it automatically, because in the sequence every time you power this, you power this after. So that's what that does. Some people power this and then this with good timing, and then that works too. But I didn't know that, so yeah. These are the Quint storages. So basically, for the closing, we power this, and that, and then power this, and that powers again, and then we need to do that, then that, all powered this, and then this really quickly, except I didn't figure that out until I made some other doors. And then the closing, no, I mean the opening, some people do that sort of thing, which means they only have to refire the Quint once, except I didn't do that. And instead, this is the Quint sequence I used. So we power those three, then we one tick this, we one tick that. That's strange. That shouldn't be happening. Oh yeah, because of repeater. So that happens, which is annoying, which means we one tick it and then force it to spit out the blocks. We retract that up and then we power this. This is such a bad time to lag out. Power that, power that, power that, and then the bottom kind of pushes up a bit, not using the tape, but they push up, which means we don't have to power these again, which is very useful. And then we power this, then we power this really useful circuit. So basically it powers this for a 4 tick, then unpowers it again for a 4 tick really quickly. So don't really know how I can show this well. I forgot you need to input it with a 4 tick. Oops. I'm very good at this, definitely. So that happens, which is useful. This is the circuit I used in the door, but I have recently found out there's a much easier way to do it, which is just that, which does the exact same thing, and you don't need to input it with a 4 tick. I guess you do, but it comes with a 4 tick, so that's very useful, but I only figured that out recently. And then you double pulse this, double pulse that, but that won't happen because you power it fast. Double pulse this, double pulse this, and then you power this, and this line, and it does that. You refire the thingy again, come up to here, power this, refire it again until it's come to here, and that is how the top works. which is good. And then this is the magenta, is the refire, uses a slider in the ceiling, which is a bit annoying, but it works. Basically, the amount of items in this dropper, it's how many times it refires. It needs to refire twice. But the annoying thing about this is you need to reset it, which I do on the closing by powering this, which just powers things twice. You need to get both items into here, and it basically cycles around until there aren't any items left. And then this powers the thingy, and then it goes through all that. Now the bottom, this is, I quite like this bit a bit more. So it uses a 0-tick slider here, kind of like in the 4x4x4, and that takes care of the rest of the storage. Need obsidian here, so this doesn't push across. And then these are the quad inputs. And then we also have a redstone block tape, which just pushes the redstone block around, powering the pistons when they are here. Both of those are up. So this is the sequence. I'll just destroy these so you can see. Power the slider, and then power this, and this, then you power the slider, this, and this, which is useful because you do the same thing twice, which is why there's a 4-tick repeater. So powers this and then goes through all that, and then we power this again, power this, 2-tick this, power that, and power that. And that's the closing sequence. And the good thing is that can all be done for most of the opening, and then it's just the quad retraction. And then you get like a toggle going into the tape. And we have to reset. And then it does the same thing, but it has to be really well timed, because this is the top, as you can kind of see. So yeah, because it does the same thing, it has to be really well timed. So the storage goes, and then the top pushes down, and then the rest of it happens. Now the tape is bad, I don't like it. It makes the quad really annoying. That's the only thing I could think of in this space. So there's a torch here, so when a block comes here, it powers this hopper, detecting this, dust, piston powering this, and then 2 ticks going into this, and then it goes to this circuit, which I'll explain later. So we power that, that, like normal, and then the top pushes down, and then we do the same thing, power that, power this, which is annoying. This needs to be a 1-tick, and then power this, and then power this, like we did before, and we do the quad, 2-tick that, power this, and power this. And that's the same thing that happens on the opening and closing. Then the toggle activates, powering the tape. And then this, like, kind of orange circuit, well, not orange is the whole thing, but this thing basically detects when the tape ends. It's big and slow and not very good, but oh well. There wasn't any space on the other side to fit anything, really. So basically this powers every so often, and basically we get a pulse extender going into this. So the pulse extender powers, but before it can switch off, this is powered again, meaning this doesn't retract until this stops getting powered, which is at the end of the tape. And then this observer powers the quad. When that happens, then the quad powers this, These two, and then you need to be really fast with this. So right after this retracts, pulse that, unpower these. Except because it's so fast, instead of doing that, it will power the pistons, which is nice. And then we retract this, retract that, really any time. Double pulse that, double pulse that. So the way we kind of do it in the door, and that's the closing one. So the way we do it in the door is we use this observer line to basically power the slider, because we need to power the slider 3 times. So it does make it really annoying because there's so much delay there. Because yeah, so immediately we power this hopper, doing that, and then also we power this, tracking that, but then you might think this gets powered and then this gets powered, but it's meant to be this then this. But because there's so much delay coming here, we can power this after and it will still be powered like before, if that makes any sense. And then, so that goes up into there. Then we come along here, which really came in clutch. This is kind of like the double, like that does this. I guess I can try and show you. See if I can break anything. This kind of spams, but it does the job. This took a lot of trial and error. I basically spammed blocks till it worked. So that was good. And then the other line comes along here. And then I have to go into spectator mode. So it comes up here. Powers comes through here. Goes up here because that double isn't very fast. Well, it is fast, but we need a bunch of delay, so we come up here, hopper, power that. Even though you might think there's a block here powers that, it doesn't break anything. And then the observer kind of comes down, I can't really show you, but points into this block powering this, which I don't think actually retracts the pistons because the pistons up here are powering. And then this observer comes up here, which powers this. Oh, and also in the meantime, this gets 4 ticked, powering these twice, which is useful. And then this gets powered sometime, I don't really know when, but it works. This comes up here. Now that I think about it, don't really know what. Anyway, so this powers this toggle here, which retracts it powering this, repowering the whole thing, and then it toggles again, powering this, doing nothing. So this whole thing powers twice, and this off, and then yeah, and then and then this line has enough delay, powering this line twice, except it powers, I guess, so it powers this, so long pulse retracting that, so it powers this, and then after this was retracted, this powers, and can't really explain it. So the pistons are like that, and then these pistons are all powered. So then this powers, hard powering, then retracts that, and then retracts and powers that. So yeah, the microphone. So I've been rambling on for 20 minutes. No one's going to watch this video, but oh well. That is how it works. I will see you in the next video, which will be a very, very good video in terms of how good the door is. Anyway, see you in the next video. Goodbye.